Greetings, friends. This is a short little video on how to conduct a correlation. Remember, we said that correlations are relationships between variables, and those variables have to be scaled variables. So when you have your data entered on SPSS, you will have to go over here and double check to make sure that each one of these variables is a scale variable. You only can conduct a correlation between those kinds of variables. In this particular example, we're going to be seeing if there's a relationship between um, time spent studying, interest in a subject, and whether or not the student felt the teacher supported them, and results of a test. This is the test that occurred after instruction. So the way to go ahead and conduct that test is you go up here and you go to Analyze, and we go down to Correlate, and we go over here to Bivariate. And bivariate, remember, means two variables. Bi meaning two, variate meaning variables. So we click on that, and actually, this is a very simple kind of a test to arrange. What you do is you put the two variables you want to compare. So we want the post-test scores, and we want time spent studying to be the very first variable we compare with that. Post-test and time spent, and we click OK. And what you'll see is a report that will come up, and it will tell you the results of that analysis. Here is the post-test variable and time spent studying tests. And you look over here, and this is the number that will tell you the strength of the relationship. Now, just so you know what you're looking at, this is the post-test, and for some reason they go ahead and put the post-test here and they compare it with itself. And as you might imagine, there's a one-to-one correlation between the test and itself. But here's the one we're looking at. This is a 0.729, and you can see that it's significant. It's less than 0.05 on the two-tailed significant test. So we know the correlation is statistically significant, and that the correlation is quite strong. It's above 0.6. We know that that's a strong correlation between the test and the time spent studying for the test. Now, if we want to do a second correlation, you would just click on this icon here, and that opens the dialog box that was just open. And we'll take out that, and we'll put in interest spent in subject. And is there a correlation between the test and the student's interest in the subject? Yes, again, statistically significant and a rather strong correlation. Now, the third one we want to examine is whether or not there's a relationship between the post-test score and whether or not the student felt that the teacher supported them. Go back to the same icon here, open up the same dialog box. And click OK. And you see for this, there was a rather mild relationship, and that relationship was not statistically significant. So all you can say is that there was no correlation between how strongly a student felt that they were supported by the teacher and the results on their test. Now, this is not an excuse to go out and treat your students poorly, but for this purposes, on this particular exam, there didn't seem to be a correlation between those two variables. Okay, well that gives you the enough information, I believe, to go ahead and conduct the correlations. Any questions, obviously, email me and be glad to help out.